Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Devil's Reign, issue number 3. This was a fantastic comic book. I genuinely enjoyed reading the hell out of this, and some weird things happened along the way. Let's get talk about all those good things after we give credit where credit's due. So again, this is part 3, and the writer is Chip Zdarsky. The artist is Marco Checchetto. The color artist is Marcio Menez, and the letters by Clayton Cowles. Checchetto and Matthew Wilson does the cover. Bunch of variant covers out there. Actually, it looks like there's 2 variant covers out there. One of them is a connecting, which is kind of cool. But I don't care. Let's move on. So this book, man, we start off with Spider-Man, that's Ben Reilly's Spider-Man, getting beaten up by a freaking cop. Let me tell you something. There is almost nothing I hate more than law enforcement taking the law into their own hands. I know it always sounds like a good idea, and, well, you got to take care of the criminals and whatnot, but unfortunately, we have laws for a reason, and even if you're going to be a good little boy and accept that the people in charge are the people in charge because they're the people in charge, and they will do anything to remain in charge, you still have to respect the idea that since the people in power put these laws into place, when they no longer follow those rules, then that is when anarchy is most likely to take place. No, I believe that a cop who beats up on somebody without prejudice should probably be launched into freaking space. It's just the way I look at it, man. To hell with those people. Both this guy and the girl, they should both be freaking set up on a wall that the Rhino is about to go and charge through. Okay. Ben actually takes this in pretty good stride, all things considered. It's kind of cool that the Thing and Human Torch come charging in and save the day. I'm not a huge fan of the way the Thing is drawn in the main picture. It's one of those dumpy looks, but I always feel like he looks dumpy in those freaking pants. I've got several of the figures of the Thing, the 6-inch Marvel Legends figures. The one in the underwear just looks great. The one in the freaking it's the exact same mold, but the one in the pants, the short pants, whatever they are, it just makes him look so dumpy. I hate that freaking look. I like him when he's in full-on pants. That's actually a cool look, even if there's a metal mask to go with it. Don't care, but the Human Torch is drawn well in here. I'm a little annoyed that they don't tell us how Human Torch lost the ability to turn into, or to flame off, so to speak. I'm never a fan of when you do stuff like that. It's like if something happened, and especially if you're going to address it, because if he didn't address it, I wouldn't have known and I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that he even said, "Oh, sorry, I'm not really able to flame off. The flames are kind of always on right now." I'm like, well, when did that happen? And without an editor's note, I was really pissed off. Listen, I'm just saying, if I see an editor's note on something, I'm easily 30% or better likely to go and buy that freaking comic book and check it out because I want to know what's going on. Like, if you pique my curiosity enough, I will go and check it out. And then there's a chance I'm going to read more comic books. Let that be known, editors. Let that be known. Okay, so we move on and we see Luke Cage hanging out with his girl, Jessica Jones. That's her name. Damn it, I forgot her name for a second. Anyway, and it's cool. Like, you actually see a loving relationship between these two and the trust that they have for each other. And I like the idea that she flew off with them. Now, she's more likely to jump than fly because her flying sucks. We know this from the comic books, but nonetheless, she is still able to fly, and she took Luke away. I totally dug on this. They talk about, can your pride handle it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure my pride can handle it. I love that. I like that Foggy is here, and he is the lawyer for Luke Cage. I really like a lot of the stuff that's going on. There's certain things that happen in here that it makes me anxious to see more. Not just here, but elsewise also. So Sue Storm is talking to her lawyer, and then something is passed to her. I think it's like a USB device, whatever it is. It's interesting, right? It's cool. What do you call it? She pockets it, and I don't know what is on it. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know how this is going to help or hurt or whatever. But God, I'm so here to see what's about to happen next. We can talk about the art for a bit. There are certain times in a comic book. Again, I still don't like the way that Thing looks. I don't know if that's necessarily an artist's issue so much as the idea that Thing is drawn in those stupid freaking shorts. They look like Jams. Remember Jams? Anybody remember Jams? But I love the idea that when I look at a character, I'm very rarely confused as to who it is. That only happened once in here, and it is in the very next page, on the next page, in the next panel. Got to get your prepositions right, pal. But when I see Kilgrave, I think for a second that it's Reed Richards. Why? Because I see the stuff on the side, the gray on the temples. And I'm thinking, oh. And granted, it is in purple, and that's what, set off me, because it right away goes into the idea that Wilson Fisk is talking to him, and it's obviously Kilgrave. Okay, cool. But I was confused for a second, especially I saw the little bandage on his arm, and I'm thinking, maybe he's used to his bones are incapable of being broken, so look, he went and punched somebody, and it's like, oh, wow, I haven't experienced this in my entire life, having a bone broken before, right? Maybe he has in the Fantastic Four at one point in Lost Power or something. I think I recall something like that, but anyway, I think that would actually be really cool to see that. So I was actually disappointed when I realized that it was Kilgrave afterwards. But anyway, aside from that little thing where it seemed like it was going, hey, Sue Storm, she's going to bring this device that she just palmed over to her husband. So here's her husband with the gray temples and everything. Aside from that one little slip, you can very easily tell who absolutely everybody is in this comic book without even second guessing yourself, right? And I really dig on that. It's a powerful thing to be able to see who is talking and not have to be told who's talking because you've already been shown who's been talking. That's just a fantastic thing in here. Now, I did read the Devil's Reign Superior Octopus, whatever the hell it was, and I did a review on it. So you guys should know, and I definitely do know, why the characters are the way they are, why the Ghost Rider and Hulk and Wolverine, but they're being called Otto also, and they've got things coming out of their various things. It was a little weird that it wasn't explained, and I'm extremely disappointed that it never said at one point, hey, to know why these guys, are looking so freaking weird, why don't you check out such and such book? Again, really pissed off that they don't put down where this book came from. It's genuinely very annoying. Anyway, we move on and we see that Daredevil is taking the lead in this over top of Captain America. Here's the problem when you have Captain America in a book. If he's not taking the lead, you have to give a good reason as to why. And there has to be something there. There has to be a reason why he's not quite as effective as he should otherwise be. And if you can't do that, then you've failed at a certain aspect of Captain America. He's a very iconic character who's very limited in the scope of what he's capable of doing, right? Anytime there's something that needs a hearing, hey, Daredevil, because he hears stuff. Now he also smells things. But if you ever had Daredevil smell something or track somebody over Wolverine's tracking ability with his nose, you'd have an issue with that, right? I would. I certainly would. If you had the Hulk there and Spider-Man lifted something that the Hulk couldn't, it's like, why didn't the Hulk lift it? Why couldn't he? What happened? I don't understand, right? There's certain things where you have to play on a character's strengths. And Captain America is a leader. And if he's not leading, and Captain America does speeches, if he's not doing the speech, maybe consider not having Captain America in the book at all. I'm saying he hasn't done anything particularly important here. In fact, if I had to make one complaint about that gorgeous cover, it's that the symmetry between the shield and how Cap is holding the shield simply doesn't make sense. You can see the concave disc shape of the shield. What is Cap doing with his arm to be able to hold it so that it looks the way that it does? Like, it just doesn't jive. It doesn't make any kind of sense. Every single thing that has to do with Captain America in this book is an utter fail. And that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. But hey, it is what it is. But anyway, these guys are talking about breaking into the mansion and going after Kingpin. Unfortunately, they're not quite able to do that because, what is this thing here? It's an editor's note. Go see Devil's Reign Winter Soldier. Well, I said I would do it, so. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Devil's Reign, Winter Soldier, issue number 1 and only. So I said I was going to do it, so why not do it? I actually had this totally prepared. It just looks like it was interesting, but I figured this would be a fun little thing to do in between the freaking thing anyway. Writers Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. The artist is Nico Leon. Felipe Sobrero doing the colors, and VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. Felipe Masafera does the cover art, and there's a variant cover out there also. Fun book. I for the most part, I really just love the art in this. It doesn't start off strong once you open the cover, but it very quickly turns fantastic. Like, the art in here is just second to none. There's a lot of talk in here about Winter Soldier not getting enough sleep, and it turns out that Fisk hasn't been getting a whole lot of sleep either, and I like what was attempted here. Unfortunately, I don't feel that the execution was really what it should and or could have been. It just didn't really mesh the way that it should have. Winter Soldier getting his butt handed to him in here, not great. It really just was not great. I understand how powerful the Kingpin is, and we've seen many times how powerful the Kingpin is, but I don't know, just some things. It helped that Winter Soldier went 3 weeks without sleeping, but unfortunately, you could say something and you could show the best you can, but if the written material just simply isn't there and the writer isn't strong, or the writers in this case simply aren't strong in this, then it's simply not going to come off the right way. Repeating yourself over and over again, oh, I haven't slept, oh, I'll sleep when I die, oh my god, I'm so tired, isn't the same as writing him in the sense where he's fighting against the Kingpin and then for some reason he just sees something different entirely. Because I don't know about you guys, but not even just when I was in the army. And the army will give you sleep deprivation, like, oof, forget about it. But if you've ever actually had sleep deprivation through, you have to stay up for some reason, or a night terror, or just you have a lot of stuff to do, or just absolute terrible insomnia, whatever it is, you know that your mind starts playing tricks on you. I don't think that it would have been too hard to even do an internet search to realize that that would have been the better way to go with this. Instead of just, what did he do before? He broke his arm, but before that he did something else to him also. Anyway, Kingpin just jacked the Winter Soldier up in this terribly. Oh, he broke his jaw. So he broke his jaw, then he broke his arm. And it's like, I hear you, but he couldn't even mount a decent defense. The fight sequences in here, as great as the art was, it just didn't make any sense what was happening in here. You could clearly see what was happening, but a lot of it just didn't make sense. Oh, I see a knife. Okay, this hand, excuse me. Okay, I've got the knife. Oh, he just, what did he... I'm sorry, really? Did anybody here see Captain America Part 2, The Winter Soldier? You remember the whole scenes, and he's doing the knife, and he drops the knife, and he catches the knife with the other hand, and boom, 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 and does all that stuff? Has anybody ever seen The Hunted, especially the final battle between the two people who were in the movie? Why can't I remember that? Tommy Lee Jones and Lou Diamond Phillips. I think it was, Lou Diamond Phillips. Wasn't it him? Was it him? No. It wasn't Lou Diamond Phillips. It was the other guy who played in The Hunted. Anyway, that guy. These two guys, they actually went into it with you, and it was really great. It was, I cut the back of my hand, but at least it wasn't my face. There have been some decent knife fights in movies before. Wouldn't a comic book be even better because you don't have to choreograph it as much? You don't have to show the individual choreography. It's just what you're going to draw, but you have to tell the artist what you want, and so this way we can understand why the things that are happening are in fact happening. It would have been great if just he would have seen the Red Skull coming at him instead, and he would have done something different, but he braced for the Red Skull instead of bracing for the Kingpin. Or he overreached. You know what I'm saying? He went past him because he actually saw Arnim Zola there instead. But it was actually, the Kingpin, or just, oh my God, I'm going to go after Alexander Lukin, that guy. Oh my God, he ruined my life. But it wasn't actually him. It was Kingpin. And just little things like that. I feel like it just would have made the fight scene in here infinitely better, and that would have been enough to make this comic book over the top fantastic, but it wasn't. In fact, the reality of this comic book is that it is nothing short than a sales gimmick for Captain America issue number 0, which is coming out, which is going to feature 2 Captain Americas. Sam Wilson is supposed to get a brand new shield, a very cool looking shield, and I love the idea they did that for him. But at the same time, I don't really want to see Sam Wilson with a shield. The wings and the shield, it's just, it doesn't, sometimes you're just trying a little bit too much. I'm just saying. I like Sam Wilson. Just do Sam Wilson right, and I think that the comics will sell. Don't do silly stuff. But apparently they can't do that. Everything's got to be a freaking gimmick nowadays. Put the shield on him. They really like the Captain America and Winter Soldier show. Yeah, but not necessarily for the reasons you think. Anyway, and then Captain America, he's going to have his regular shield. There's going to be new stuff and everything. And I have absolutely no interest in reading it whatsoever. It's going to be another one of those things where this is something I'm not even going to try. At least I tried the Ta-Nehisi Coates one, and it was absolute booty. But this, I feel, is just going to be like taking the booty and taking a crap and then smearing it all over a wall because Jason Aaron is writing it. And let's face it, Jason Aaron doesn't know how to do anything except, hey, kids, look, this totally cool thing happened. Isn't it awesome? And it's like, I guess, but it would be nice if there was actually a plot to go with what you're doing and you don't know how to plot. And it'd be nice if there was actually character development, but you don't understand the characters. And it'd be nice if there was something going on, but you don't understand how to actually do characterization. And it'd be nice if it was somebody else doing it. Jason Aaron, to me, is the absolute worst thing that has happened to comic books in a really long time. I will take Bendis over Jason Aaron any goddamn day of the week. And I stay away from Bendis with a 10-foot pole. It's twice that distance for Jason Aaron. I think the guy is the absolute worst. He's just the worst. So, nice try with the comic book, but hey, at least you got an extra sale out of me. And that happened because, okay, back to the actual regular issue. So, Devil's Reign, issue number 3. We see that the purple, I'm looking right at the freaking page, the Purple Men's Kids, right? They actually mentioned one, Joe. There's actually a little bit of character development in here. This old woman shows up and she says, hey, why don't you, I understand the superhero thing, totalitarian law and all this crazy stuff. Why don't you just let me help you out and come back to my place and everything? And the one kid's like, you will take us to such and such. And the other one stops him. It's like, dude, stop. Just relax. Yeah, actually, could you help us out? Thank you so much. And there's a little question there, like, why'd you stop me? Why couldn't I just do whatever? It's like, dude, we can make anybody do anything they want, but she was actually willing to help us out of her own good nature, her goodwill. We should accept that and just go with that. Now, could they wind up getting screwed? Could this be something that winds up making them realize, no, we have to always demand everything? Or could it be some other form of character development where, okay, maybe I don't have to use my powers. Maybe we can actually be good, even though Kilgrave is actually bad, right? I think that it's fantastic ideas to just that one little thing. It gets me so hopeful about what's to happen further. The other thing that happened in this comic book that really shook me for a moment was what happened with Iron Man. When Otto Octavius Ghost Rider goes after him, it's like, oh, you've been especially bad. Things that, nobody else could possibly know. You tried to cover them up, but I'm going to get you. And it's like, wait, no, I did everything you told me to. I was like, wait, what? What? Well, they spoil it in the comic book. And maybe this happened in another comic book and I didn't see it. But that's the problem with not putting the freaking editor's notes down there. Morons. Anyway, they go and reveal exactly what's going on, and it really took it away from me, because if they didn't reveal, if you didn't get to see what happened, the one panel, and somebody else actually says something on top of it and reveals what actually happened, it was like, oh, that could have actually been really interesting if I had any idea what was going on. Instead, they just did that reveal. If that panel didn't happen and the reveal word wasn't mentioned, I would have been so hooked on this. I'd have been like, okay, well, I need to obviously buy every single tie-in and anything that has to do with this book, period, because I need to know what the hell is going on with Iron Man. What the hell happened? What do you mean, I did what you told me to? What? What the hell was that? Oh, man, that grabbed me. Like, you know the old saying, hook, line, and sinker? Yeah, that was me. I was just hooked, and they were reeling me in. I'm just like, I'm good. Take me in, bitch. I need to see where this rope leads. Even if it's the end of a fillet knife and a dinner table, I need to see where the end of this tunnel goes. Wow, that really had me. And they made the cardinal mistake of just giving away the freaking ending for free. They freaking had me. They could have taken me anywhere, and I would have went willingly. Damn it, what a shame. What a shame. I really wanted to be taken down that road. Whatever. Anyway, so I got to see, I'm like, oh, wow, a brilliantly wasted story. That could have been something special. Genuinely heartbreaking. Wow, I'm not going to get over that anytime soon. I'm going to be thinking about this a good portion of the week. Just, wow, terrible. Anyway. Terrible execution in that one particular regard. Everything else in the book, though, wow. The inks in the book, especially when you talk about the Kilgrave kids, wow. You want to draw characters in the shadow? This is how you do it. The book was really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of this issue. I'm telling you, man, Zardowski, this cat, he knows some of these characters in this book. I don't know if he knows all the characters in the book. But this is a guy who's just taking all these different storylines that were, for the most part, unfinished at some point or another. Was it Charles Soule who made Kingpin the mayor of New York City? I forget. Right? It was so long ago. But it clearly wasn't Zdarsky. Like, somebody just said, let's make him the mayor of New York City. Okay, what happens? I don't know. I have no idea. We'll just leave it for somebody else to figure out. Which is the epitome of lazy, but it was still a great idea. I just don't like it when something doesn't come to its, eventual fruition. Is this going to be the end of Mayor Fisk? God, I hope not. But at the same time, I'm really curious to see where this goes regardless. If Luke Cage becomes the mayor, oh my God, what's that going to be like? I really want to see the future of this storyline. And that's one of the things that I just love about Zdarsky's writing. He has the ability, usually. He has the ability, and he almost always shows it, almost always executes it. The ability to just keep us going down a certain session, a certain path, and just, wow. This was a good comic. It really was. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Go and pick this up. At the very least, grab it and trade. But I feel like you're going to want to get at least some of the tie-ins also, because they actually do tie in. You'd be lost if you didn't read the Superior Octopus tie-in for this. But it is what it is. All right, guys, like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.